So, part 2, we here with Jaye the PA. I hope the food was amazing.
Oh, it was so good. It was so good. I'm gonna have to steal that recipe.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you for sure. Maybe like next week sometime. I don't know when.
Okay.
I'm gonna get to it. The SSB summer sea green salad was actually amazing.
That was good.
I was shocked myself for how I actually was able to pull it together. I remember you guys said you wanted a summer salad, so I was like, all right, we're gonna put a summer salad and see what I like. Obviously, we in summer now. Y'all may not know this. So peaches are really in style, or like it's a fruit that's in the season right now, I should say. So I was like, okay, let's play around with this, and hopefully it's good. And
yeah, it was A.
Shouts to you for saying it's
A1,
good.
okay? That was a really good surprise.
So for me, you go to a front. You want to go more into fun, or you want to go into the serious? Not really serious. Nothing serious.
Nothing serious. Let's do the fun stuff first.
All right. So you have quite the personality online. Quite the person. I'm not gonna sit there and say anything, but I've seen some things that you have riled Twitter, IG, whatever you want to say. Oh my goodness. So I have a tweet that I have seen.
God.
I'm not gonna show y'all. We're gonna probably bring it up. But I feel like you had one in particular. It was Lil Nas X. I don't know if you noticed, it was last year. And I'm gonna let you see it and what you think about it yourself. I felt like it was hilarious as fuck. I think that it was one of those things where I was like, yo, no, that's hilarious.
Oh my God.
I'm not gonna put your ad out there because I feel like that's personal.
No, you can. It's okay. Twitter is what I use Twitter for, but yep, that's me.
So
that's me.
So when you said what you had said, do you want me to say it, or do you want to say it?
No, you can.
All right. So look, it was a video and a picture of Lil Nas X, and it says, "Since everybody's asleep, what y'all think?" And I think the tweet was around maybe like 2 a.m. in the morning. She sent the tweet at like maybe like 9 minutes later. It was like 2:17 our maybe like 15 minutes, whatever the case may be. And she said, she quote tweeted and she said, "You so versatile, period. Now you Jaye Morant, question mark, question mark, question mark." And for y'all that don't know what this picture and video look like, he has the dreadlocks of Jaye Morant, and it was the funniest shit I ever seen.
Just like,
oh my God.
Was like, so I call myself like, I'm into basketball. I used to play basketball, so I still watch a few games just to feel like I'm staying true to what I know. But obviously, Jaye Morant has been in the media for a while, and when I was scrolling, I was like,
the first thing that caught your mind was, "Hey, this man look like."
I thought he had did his hair like this for real. So but the reason why I said versatile, because he was just like Ice Spice for Halloween. So it was like, okay, he's switching it up. He can be anybody. But all the tweets that goes viral, it's always like the most random things that I feel like, wow, okay.
It be like, it's been a few. I don't have any more. I could have brought some more up, but like,
it's always
yours,
a few.
You got a few on there where I'm like, no, this is actually, like, you are really a funny person, especially online. Where like, you actually have caught quite a while, like a ride. That's a tough little sentence I just said.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like I said, I'm serious all day. I practice medicine. I'm in psychiatry. You know, patients have needs that you can't physically see, so you gotta like be in tune when you're talking to them, knowing what's going on. I talked about earlier today decision fatigue. So I'm making several decisions, and just I gotta be on top of everything while I'm at work in the real world. So I think social media is like my alter ego, I guess, or like my way to still be Jasmine and not like the PA. So it's so funny that my persona is like Jaye the PA, but like, I'm not on there to be a PA.
Yeah, no, I understand that, because I think like we all need a little release every now and then, especially like just like that. I guess like that home to just go to where like, you know what, let me just turn off what I've been doing for the last, well, for It's never a turn off.
No, never, never.
But for you, you need a good time to just like, you know what, man, let me be Jasmine Cofield for a minute.
Exactly.
And I think that's good.
Exactly.
So you mentioned you love basketball, or you play basketball. I feel like you probably have loved it. I guess it's a two-part question. One, who is your favorite as of right now in terms of, it doesn't have to be active, it could be inactive.
Okay. LeBron James. Absolutely. And I will say, I was somebody when he first went to Miami, I did not like that. It was more on the leadership thing. And I was like, I don't know what year that happened and how old I was, but I knew it was like, how are you supposed to be like a leader of a team and you join? So that's kind of my mindset. But honestly, it's not even his accomplishments on the court. I love what he's doing in his community. Like, that's how you make that's power, you know, like he doesn't embarrass his wife and you know, you don't really hear nothing about issues with that. So his kids are doing great. Like, he really won in life. And I think it's because of what he puts out there. And I don't think that's a coincidence, you know? So LeBron James, he's definitely somebody to look up to.
No, I think that's, first off, for him to be going this long at 38, he been in the league since he was 17. It's 18, my bad. I got him mixed up with Kobe. He was in the league since he's been 18. It's the fact that he's been in there since he was pretty much a kid in high school. And the things that he's been able to do, first off, I want to sit there and say, thankfully, his son has recovered from what he had went through a few days ago with cardiac arrest, which is amazing. But going back to LeBron, it's the fact that he really has done a lot, and his longevity of people don't really see how, like, we talk about being great, but how to be great is the days in and out of, like, how he's been able to stay detailed, stay consistent, in and out the gym, and nobody really sees those days. Like you said, like, it's the same way where, like, you, to be a PA, you have to have the days where, like, you have to bust your ass to study every single day to be as good as you possibly can be to where you are today, and help as many people as you have been in the pack. So you look at LeBron as like, yeah, man, like, him and Kobe are like the perennial, or like the standard for consistency, being great, and knowing that, like, that third is practice, practice, practice.
Just taking pride in what you do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think of two things about LeBron that stands out to me. One, I would love to ask him, how do he navigate, like, all the negative talk? Because it's like, what can you say about this man? So when you see people reaching to say something negative about him, and it's like, that I don't respond well to that. So I don't think I would, like, that's a skill, like, for him to still do what he does despite the negative talk that is clear as hating. I don't know how he navigates that. Like, that is commendable, and, you know, just staying consistent, like you said, in that regard. But I would love to know, like, how he kind of tunes all that out. I would love to know who his therapist is, because I know he has one. Like, he got somebody on his team to keep his mental together, you know, to make sure he continues to give back on and off the court, despite what others are saying. Even people who, you know, it's always so weird to me. Like, even people who have retired well before he even entered the NBA, and it's like, yeah, like, I don't know. It's mind-boggling to me how he's able to do that. And then another thing that he is, people call it whining and stuff like that, but, like, when you're passionate, you're gonna have emotions that you don't care what no one sees, you know. So he's passionate. I think a lot of these other NBA players are trying to figure out how can they get the most money with playing the least amount of games. And it's like, this is your job. This is what you're supposed to take pride in. This is your name. This is your legacy. And I like that. Like, so what? He cries on the court. He want to win. Like, like what? He wants to win. And I feel like until people are in that position to where your dreams got you ready to cry, you won't ever understand it. That's just how I feel. Like, your dreams will turn you crazy if you truly about it. And for him to still keep whatever emotion he has on the court, but still keep, like, a level head to do what he does off court, he got his ones for sure.
But no, I think, like, what you said is really true. Is that, like, you want to have that passion, and it's important to have that passion in what you're doing, because if you don't have it, then what you doing it for?
Because I'm telling you, it's gonna be times where you don't want to do it. You're not gonna want to do it. You're gonna feel like you're spread thin, and what's gonna be that drive? You gotta have, like, an internal drive. You know, you gotta have something a reason, a why, you know. And I tell people that all the time. With even in the pack, it's like if you want to be a PA, because I'm gonna tell you now, the journey is not easy. So you gotta want to do it for the right reasons, or else it's going to catch you on that journey, and you're gonna be off of it.
Yeah. No, I get that. And speaking of the pack, in a sense, I'm gonna actually like segue. For you, basketball is a really big thing, and obviously, Coach Keith is obviously I feel like is an important name to you in terms of high school and how you've been an athlete.
Oh
So
my
for me, I guess
gosh.
another two-part question is, how important was Coach Keith to you going into your everyday life now, and how has basketball influenced you into pretty much like the mentality you've had for being a
PA? Okay, you know, this is a really cool question. Hold on, let me make sure I don't cry.
No.
Hold on.
All right.
People don't know this. I'm very emotional. I'm a feeler all the way, and I'm getting emotional because I think this answer is a two-part answer. I can definitely answer what Coach Keith done for me, but it would not be right to not talk about the basketball and what it's done for me without mentioning my mama. Okay,
That's fair.
But Coach Keith so I transferred to Hamady. I went to a special college or a special high school. I feel slow a little bit, but I went to a early college, so they didn't have teams. So the students there, what we did was we played for our home team. So like whatever high school that had a team, you played for if you that was in your school district. So I transferred to Hamady my junior year. In the middle of my junior year, I was a team captain at my last team. I just wasn't really getting along with the coach, and I just didn't see my future there. So I left in the middle of my 11th grade year so I could have my full senior year to play with Coach Keith. And that summer, he developed me like no other. Like it was, we only had Sundays off of practice. He was a coach who got on the court with you. So was my first like leadership style of like, you know, do what you tell other people to do.
Yeah,
you know, like
you
like he was getting on us about how fast we were running up and down the court. So he got on the line and would run up, like beat us too.
Yeah.
Would beat us. And so like he was definitely somebody that I feel like developed my game. And then more importantly, like I said, I went to early college. So we did 5 years of high school. So my 5th year, I was not eligible to play basketball, but I was the coach. Like I was an assistant coach. So me and him were like real tight that year. It really helped me find my voice as a leader. I was pretty good at it. It's a side story on why I didn't play in college. It's low key messy, but if we have time, I'll go into it. But
all the time.
Really, my mom. My mom I didn't start playing basketball until 7th grade, but you would have not known that because 7th grade year, I was on my middle school team, and I didn't get no playing time. I didn't even know how to dribble a ball. But then my mom, that summer from 7th grade to 8th grade, every day, no breaks, no days off. Like it was, I don't care your stomach hurting, get up in this gym. If you say you want to play basketball, play basketball. And I came back a starting captain. Like that same team, I came back, same players and everything, and everybody was like, what 180 did you make? And I think that was my first lesson. And like if you stay disciplined in something and consistent, like you'll see the change. And I think that was my first like confidence boost in like seeing your hard work become something. And I still had a lot to learn, right? But I was playing with girls who were starting in 2nd grade. So they had 5 years already on me, playing on teams, used to like all this other stuff. So not only did I come back as a starter, but I was the captain. So I was like into leadership and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what helped me become the coach for Coach Keith, you know, because he saw that leadership style. But I had already developed that through my mom. My mom she didn't miss a practice. She sat in every practice. After every game, she would come with a camera. She was one of those mamas. Like you could hear her in the here we go. And it got on my nerves at the time. Even after games, so I had to watch my film, you know, and she would point out like this is what happened here. And I think that's why I'm so, like, a lot of qualities she don't realize she instilled in me was definitely like always being reflective of me, always checking myself, you know, discipline, like I said. But she definitely taught me like the importance of hard work and sticking at something every day, like small deposits every day, no matter what you do. Like, it was sometimes where if I couldn't go outside and practice, she was like, okay, lay in the bed and work in your form. You know, I'll have to have the ball.
That's crazy,
just,
but that's
like,
that's
she
what it
would,
takes.
like, it had to be something, you know, get up 6 a.m. I was that kid that was getting up at 6 a.m., like, routine and stuff like that. So that's why I think this is spilled over, you know, to the work. So shout out to my mama.
Did she play too?
Amazing. She was a hooper.
Okay,
she was a hooper. And I think, like, you know, I can go all day about talking about AAU and opportunity and exposure in the Black community. But that's kind of how it fell off with her. You know, she just needed somebody. She needed her, you know.
That makes sense, yo. I think that's the fact that, like, it's guiding you to that, like you said, consistency and commitment. It's guiding you to where you are now, which was being able to be a PA, but not only be a PA, but you also been a mentor to. I couldn't find a number. I'm sick about it. But how you've helped so many people with their personal statements is honestly crazy. Man. With the pack even going up to 8,000 members, I can only assume that it could be about 1,000 maybe that you've helped with their personal statements, and or not just personal statements, but just like what you've had as far as being a knowledge bank and like, hey, this could work or this couldn't work, or like just having those events like you do in DC, Detroit, now Nashville. And speaking of, I know I'm going on a tangent, but you're going as a 40 for 40 under 40 Self Connect conference. Oh, there it is. I found it out. There it is, yo. I
got it. you know that's so dope. So, okay, wait, where do I start?
Yeah, I know. All right. I know I want to change it. That's why I was saying, like, I don't even know where to start. Okay, let's go with how many people have you helped with personal statements, and then we'll go on to the rest.
Okay, so personal statements is really hard to put a number on. I will say when I first came out with the journal, I sold about, I think I sold 2,000 copies within like within 2 years, off Amazon. And what's so funny, thank you. It's to the point I don't even market it. People, like, you know, people who makes our appointments, if I feel like they need it, I suggest it. But for the most part, it kind of like, it's off of recommendations, word of mouth. Yeah. You know, people just want to support. So I can't put a number exactly. Before I started practicing, I was helping a lot of people, maybe like 5 personal statements a week. But now that I work, I had to cut that down a little bit and focus more on how to like streamline stuff and make it more. Yeah. I like that the pack provides a personable approach to things, but to help more people, you know, you gotta either get more bodies to do it or find like a system that will help more and touch more at once. But to answer your question, I don't know that number, but I do know how many people we've helped get into PA school. And that number as of today is like 370. And that's over the course of like 4 years. And to give some like perspective on what that means, there's about 100,000 PAs and 3% make up Black African American of the PA profession. So that's what, 3,000? Yeah. 3,000 people. So we got 10% of, like, you know, 370 out of the 3,000 African Americans. Like, we contribute to almost 10% in 3-4 years, you know. So I'm proud of that, to know that this means a lot for people. And I want to go off a little bit into like the PA career real quick. The PA career usually requires, after undergrad, 2 to 3 years of like training, education. Most programs are 24 to 27 months. I'll be clear and transparent. Your salary off rip, no matter if you became a PA, more than 6 figures, you know. So the most remarkable thing about all of this is the that's going to help them not only take care of themselves, but like their families, you know. Like, this is and so soon, you know, these people are like, we're like 26, 27, 28. making this amount of money and will be able to going further. And I think that's beautiful. Like, it's not really in a world where we're not really meant to move social classes. It's really meant for you to really, die in the class, stay in the class that you were born in. I think this is, in a way, not to get too deep, but it defies science a little bit,
No, and I think, like, being from Detroit, being from Flint, for you, it's like we are in those predominantly black areas where a lot of people we don't see us make it out of these same situations, and if we do, it's you look at them as like, damn, like how did you do it? And I want to be on the same thing. So it honestly goes into we're gonna get into other stuff, but like for you, as a young black girl, like what would you say would be like the best thing that you could possibly tell somebody when they look at you and they're like, oh, like Jasmine is such an amazing role model that's done so much just from coming from Flint, but also like you still stay in Flint as well. I'm not trying to put your location out there. But,
no, it's okay. I love Flint. I love being from Flint. I love Flint.
But for you, it's like, what can you say to the young girls and young boys out there who could possibly want to be in the medical field? Because it's tough, and being black in the medical field is a big thing. What is like those guiding words?
I think for me is two things. It's understand that it may not be expected to, and then two, don't let nobody tell you no, or don't let anything tell you no. I've learned plenty. One thing I talked about what my mom taught me, my dad, and it's like if you're open to that, then you gotta just be willing to be adaptive to that. But other than that, it's like I don't really like the word no, and not on some like entitlement type things. It's like, okay, if that didn't happen that way that I wanted, let's see what I can adjust. Like just like with school, who imagined for me to get kicked, dismissed from school? But it's like now, I turned, my favorite line is like I turned the L into an M, because it's like it's brought me way more than what I expected. So just not letting nobody tell, just having that esteem in yourself and knowing the goals you set, they're achievable.
No, I agree. It's crazy because it's been a theme here that like just because you failed does not mean that it's over.
Yeah, it's not.
Failure only means that you took an L, but it's never a thing of like that's what's gonna happen for the rest of your life.
Unless you make it.
Exactly.
Unless you make it.
And some people really look at that and be like, oh, I failed, it's over. It's like, no, like I like that. I like what you said was that like even if it's a no right now, I can still have what I want. It's like, okay, how can I adjust? Mm-hmm. How can I change direction and have a detour to get to where I really need to go? Mm-hmm. And that's I think that's really important, knowing that like for anybody who's aspiring to be a PA in the medical field or wanting to be, or any field, whether it's cooking, whatever the case may be, man, look, it's gonna be tough because it's never gonna be a time where it's gonna be easy. But wherever you're gonna do, you gotta be 100% into it, and you may hit some L's along the way. Yeah. But you gotta know that it's never the end, and that's the most important thing.
I agree, and I always say too, maximize the good moments, right? Like if there's a time in like where energy is coming, ideas is flowing, and you like, where does spark of energy come from? Don't be confused by it. Use it. Like write all the stuff down you want to do. Talk it out with somebody that you trust, like so they can feed into it, or also enhance your ideas, and then like go from there. Because you're not gonna be steady and consistent. I'm telling you now, there's been months where I don't do a thing with the pack because it's it bogs you down. But I do those moments where I'm feeling uplifted and like that passion resparked. I use that because I don't know when it's going to come back. Like that's when I maximize my time and my ideas, and start reaching out to people, making meetings and things like that to because it's like I got that now. So I think too, maximizing the time and just being more realistic about how this is going to look. You can't do it alone, and you can't do it 24/7.
No, I agree, and I think that like what you said already is that like, remember earlier you had said that like it's a lot to take on, first of all, to even have the pack, but also being able to do the things you do. Speaking of going off and on, you have a partner with some more, and you've spoken that like it's a really great balance between you two, because even when you're off, she's on. When she's off, she's on. I mean, you're on. And so I think that's important as well, as knowing that like you have to have that yin and yang, or you gotta have that balance of like, look, I'm off my A game or whatever the case may be, or I got a lot of things going on in my day-to-day life. Can you take over? And even when you have like a thing by yourself, you gotta know that you can't do everything by yourself.
Exactly.
So,
and I like our communication style. By us both being like really strong minded. I think finding a good business partner is important. Samora is perfect. I first want to add that we have another business partner. I don't know what it, yeah, third, Minerva Lobe. Yeah. People do associate us two together because that's how it started off, but Minerva got added on and she's been phenomenal. So I want to Minerva Lobe.
Shout out to Minerva.
Yes, shout out to Minerva. I love you.
Third ship captain.
Yes.
We there. I'm not gonna forget you. I promise you. I got you.
Yeah. But Samora and I, when we first developed this partnership, we both came. She's married, right? So we came to this understanding like we're married, you know. So it's like I said, being more realistic. To expect you to never get into it with your business partner is it's so unrealistic. So we covered that before we even, before that even had a chance. Like, listen, if there's ever a point where we're not seeing head to head, like we got to just remember it's business and not our friendship, because a lot of people say you can't be friends and mix business. And I think you got to just be mature about it, right?
I agree.
And I feel like we're both level-headed to where if we have a different idea of direction of something, we hear each other out. It is expected for you to like have reasoning and like have some good points on why you think this should or shouldn't be done. But the biggest thing, like I said, is like remembering it's business. And I also think it's important to like the financial aspect of it. We're in a good position to where we both are practicing PAs. So like we don't depend on the PAC to give us money. Actually, we don't even take money from the PAC. Like we have yet to let it pay us. And I think a lot of people, I know that's a privilege that a lot of people don't have, because when they are trying to do like a passion project or have something of this nature, all your time has to go in this. So you expect to make the money back and use that to also pay for your lifestyle or your life. Yeah. But we knew that there was something bigger, and we were just in the position like, why take the money when we are making nice money ourselves? Yeah. So I think that's another benefit of why her and I, well, all three of us work so well together, because she's also a PA, Minerva. So we're all practicing. Minerva and Samora are both also professors at NPA programs. So, so and they're both moms. So
triple shots for Minerva and double shots for Samora.
Yeah, I can't. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know how they do it, but we do it, and I think a part of that is because we just realized the main picture is like, we just want to help, we're not doing it for the money, obviously. Yeah, we've been doing this for like 4 years now without being paid. So I think that's what works well with us. It's like we're very mature. We both have, at the end of the day, we both have the common goal of just wanting better for our profession and more diversity in the profession. So as long as that's steady, and then, like I said, we get into heated arguments all the time. But I think we are wise enough to separate that from the friendship. Like you're a married couple, y'all in this for life now. So you got to figure out how to navigate these issues like an adult. So that's kind of how we do it.
Nah, I agree. I think that's a big thing. And the fact that y'all don't take from the PAC, which y'all have actually been such a main influence on other people who obviously having 8,000 members and continuously growing, that's a big thing. Yeah. And I think that's amazing that like y'all are able, because a lot of people, like you said, they can't really separate themselves from their passion project and not able to like just say like, hey, look, I'm making good money or whatever. And this is its own entity, and I don't want to pull from it. That's important.
You can't.
And some people are like, no, like this is going like feed my life, whatever. Like you have to know that even if you have this thing, it may be a while before it takes off to even get to that output or that pull from. So
I feel like most businesses, when they start up, entrepreneurs don't talk about how much money goes into starting a business, or like you may break even all the time until or even if you do make a lot of profit, you don't spend it. We have money, we're definitely generating revenue, but it's like, if we spent it all on us, it would never get and build to the point where we need it. So I tell people, I try to give that advice to people starting up, like keep your real job still. Yeah. Like still keep your real job, because this isn't going to be paying you consistently like you think it will. And if it does, you kind of want to save stuff up to expand, you know, like you don't, yeah, that's my
No, I think, all
standpoint.
right. So I guess my last thing before I had went on a tangent was the BHC. You are vaccine. You're going to be there next month.
Yeah, man.
How excited are you for that?
Oh my God. I think what's so ironic about all of this, what I'm most excited about is the fact that I'm going to a conference and I don't have to present. I don't have to plan anything. And I had realized like everything that I like go out of town for, it's all like sometimes for work, you know? So it never felt fulfilling in a way. If don't get me wrong, I love my pack events, but let's just say I like that I'm finally getting poured into. Well, I won't say finally, but like I'm happy that this event is something I can take from. So I'm excited about that. This is their first cohort. It sounds like Black Health Connect does exact same thing that the PAC does with like hosting mixers and events throughout the country. They do it way more often, and they're more expansive than the PAC is. Like we open it up to like people who are either interested, already practicing in, or as a student, as a PA. But you know, they have. Last time I went to a Detroit event, they had behavioral therapists, they had people, healthcare admin. You know, there were business people. There's going to be some tech talks and stuff like that. So I like that we're moving more towards what can we like, how can I maximize the position I'm in now? You know, I love that everybody is trying to share knowledge. I love that everybody just wants to see others win. And I'm excited to, you know, beyond the award, which, you know, I read the profiles of those who I'm amongst, and I'm like all these doctors and pharmacists. I can't believe it. You know, it's
you up there too, though. I mean,
I know.
You gotta, hey, look, you gotta get your flowers. So, like you are up there as well. Like
I know. So one thing what people don't understand about me, and I think this is my personality, and I think it's just due to like how I was raised. I was always like, I was 14 in my first college class. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I forget that somebody told me the other day, they was like, I think everybody think you like in your 40s. Not because of how you look, but like what you've accomplished.
Yeah.
And it's like that sat with me for a long time. So I'm like, in my 40s? You know, but I think I struggle with like remembering like I'm 28. But also, you know, I'll be in meetings with like the CEO of like this big org that, you know, who also can see my Facebook page. And I don't know, I'm going on a tangent right now, but what I'm getting at is it's weird because I feel like a little kid sometimes, but then again, it's like you up there, like how you had to remind me, like you up there too. But I think because I'm just so used to everybody being older than me, it's hard for me to get out of that mindset sometimes of like, you're older too.
I think we always get into that. I think we have like when we done so much, we feel like we haven't done enough.
Yep.
And like we're not,
it's so
we haven't done enough at the age we're supposed to be at. It's like, oh, it's that weird gray area.
So weird. So yeah, I feel like I'm still processing that. Like, you know, reminding myself like you are a professional, you know, people do look at you as this. So, but then it's like with me, it's like you are 28, you still want to live your life and be, you know, a young adult. So I'm kind of like teeter-tottering both.
But no, I think it's important to know that you got to get your flowers, and I feel like everybody in the pack is also giving your flowers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Minerva and some more, you have your flowers as well.
Yeah, they are
y'all
amazing.
Doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
Being a three-headed dragon
Thank
for over
you.
8,000 members. I can't wait to see what y'all do next.
Yeah.
I've had events out in DC. I had events out obviously in Detroit. I had events in Nashville. My last one is what's next.
So, what I'm excited about is a university wants to host. We're going to have like a boot camp for students who are interested in PA school, and that whole week will be dedicated to like preparing you for that. So we want like a few days where students are able to kind of see a day in the life of a PA student, because people don't know you're in school, you're in class from 8 to 5 with a lunch break, you know, so no time for jobs, no time for, it's just you in school, you know. So I want students, that's one of the big things our members struggle with, is that culture shock. It's like, yeah, it's not just classes here and there, you in class Monday through Friday. That another issue is like a lot of our members, students of color, have a hard time shadowing PAs or finding PAs to shadow for reasons we know why, right? We don't even know any in our family, or just that access. So I want to create that because I was almost impacted by that. I had all the credentials to apply to PA school except a PA to shadow. And I almost didn't apply to school. And that was my first lesson in like, you're not privileged. Cause I was like, I have all the grades, I have the experience, I have the volunteer hours. It was just, I needed a PA. And my counterparts who I was studying organic chemistry with, when I would ask them how they got it, it was easy. Like their dad golf with them, or, they're the medical director. So it was easy. So that was my first lesson in like, I have to work twice as hard to get, just the things that I feel like I need. So the week boot camp is going to be, I don't want anyone feeling like that, feeling defeated because of their circumstances, I just think about how I almost wasn't a PA because of that small issue. So, the students are going to leave after that week with like an experience on campus. I want them to have volunteer hours. I want them to have shadowing hours. I want them to leave with almost like everything you would need for an application.
No, that's amazing. That's actually really, really dope.
Yeah.
I think that first off, well, I don't know about you, but like my parents have always said to be half as good, you gotta be twice as hard on yourself, or not twice, but you gotta work twice as hard.
Absolutely.
And like, connections make everything easier. And we don't have that. We
don't. You have to make them. And that's why like these networking events are always, I encourage people to maximize them because of that reason. It's like, you're not going to be in this. Somebody said in Nashville, a girl was considering on coming and another black PA walked by. She's like, girl, this is going to be the only time you see all these black PAs in a room. So you better come on. And like when you think of, and I had to even think about that, like, wow, that alone is a reason why people come to these events, because we don't see each other in our day to day. So
I can't wait to see what y'all do next.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing time.
Thank
Jaye,
you.
you, Minerva, and some more have done amazing things. I can't wait to see what y'all do next. Obviously with the event coming up, but honestly, I see the PAC being like one of the biggest influences that you could possibly have.
Oh,
in
absolutely.
The medical field.
I want it to be eventually the place where if you're a person of color and you're interested in the medical field in general, that's where you go. Like I want that organization to be where you go to get all the mentorship, the learning opportunities, the experiences. That's my goal in like 10 years is to be the Amazon for pipeline programs.
I'll give you 5. I'll give y'all 5. So it's been amazing having you on this show. It's been great even knowing you, even having you here. I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate
the
invite.
Food, having good wine.
Good food.
Man, so
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. You good?
Woo! That was such an amazing episode.
Oh my God. The John Moran.